Well, it's summer, and it's getting hotter. I'm Michael with WriterSanctuary, and I'm doing a writer vlog today because I'm not going to be here on Friday. I'll be at WordCamp Kansas City this weekend. This is my second take of doing the video because I hit the start stream button instead of the start record. So I'm not really sure where we're streaming to, probably Twitch, but I have no idea. So those of you lucky enough to catch that video get to see me before I do the edits, so it's raw footage, so I bet that was pretty much fun. But anyway, we're going to do some viewer comments, so let's just jump into it. Our first comment comes from our friend Shyman. You look younger. This is in response to when I got my teeth for the first time, and apparently I look younger than I am. And when you're someone who has a problem with age as it is, anything that makes you look younger is ideal. But thank you very much for the compliment, Shyman. Still have quite a few issues to work through, as you can probably hear, and some of the words I try to say, like next, it's kind of a pain in the ass to do, so I'm still working on it, but thank you very much for noticing. Our next comment comes from Shyman again. Hi Michael, I started a health blog on WordPress. I wrote 15 articles, and then I realized that I don't want to write about health anymore. I want to write about philosophy or religion. But will I lose all site trust? What shall I do? 1. To buy a new hosting and start a new blog, or 2. Delete all articles about the old topic and write new articles, or 3. Leave out old articles and write new articles on a new topic. This is completely dependent on how you have your blog set up. Now, as a new blogger, you're not going to really generate a lot of traffic anyway, so you can get away with doing a bit of experimentation at the very beginning. Like if you had thousands of visitors a day, then switching topics would definitely be bad. But since this is brand new, you don't have to worry about it so much. I don't know if I'd go by way of getting a whole new hosting account just for the different content. Just kind of seems like a waste of money to me. But if you do, then you can always have 2 different websites and go back and forth if you want to write about fitness one day or religion the next. See, with my hosting account, I have unlimited domains, so I can create as many as I want. On my hosting, I have the health and fitness blog, the gaming channel, and WriterSanctuary. That's not to mention all the different side projects I have installed at the same time. So if you have an unlimited account and you want to buy a new domain, at least you'll have the fitness thing that you can come back to later on if you decide you wanted to do that. As for deleting all your articles, I don't know if you'd need to go that extreme with it, especially if Google started indexing your pages, because then as soon as the crawlers come across a 404 error, it's going to hurt your rankings. But if you haven't submitted a sitemap yet, then it really doesn't matter. You can delete as much as you want, and Google will be none the wiser. Just remember that once you delete a URL, it does run the chance of throwing a 404 for somebody that's searching for that content. That is, unless you install a redirect plugin in WordPress to your main homepage, and that's even if you're using WordPress. The third option, I believe, in this instance would probably be the best. Just leave the old articles there and expand on your new topic. I mean, after all, it's not really hurting anything. It might cause a little bit of confusion if someone comes across those articles and it's a little bit different. But let me ask you this, is there any way you can tie philosophy and religion into fitness? That way you're covering both bases at the same time. You might be able to throw in a whole new look on the whole process. Like take Crossing Colorado for example. It's my health and fitness blog that I've been working on. Its main focus is fitness, but I also like to game. So I combine the two and do a lot of articles about gamifying fitness. How many calories can you burn playing the Xbox 360, that kind of stuff. So I'm giving it my own unique look at health and fitness and gaming at the same time. Now you might have to be a little bit more creative to connect fitness with philosophy, but I bet there's a lot of content out there for it. But anyway, I would leave the blog post there just to see if it drives any traffic, and you might pique some interest, but it really is not hurting anything, especially since you have a new site. But like I said, once you start hitting 1,000, 10,000 a day, definitely do not switch it. The next comment comes from DIY Wedding Design. Thanks for all the great info. Can I ask a text broker a question though? I have only written 4 articles. The last one was a recap of a fundraiser. I had to include what, where, when, the host, the title, the price, etc. So it got sent back to me as a rewrite. Obviously, I had to include all that info, but I did change all the wording around. My question is, when it gets flagged for plagiarism, does a person look at it too? Or do they just go by what the computer found? If a person looked at it, you think they would see why I repeated a lot of the info in the article. And this right here is why I try to avoid recaps as much as possible. Because a lot of clients will just pick up what the plagiarism checker finds, which is usually copyscape, and it'll give them a percentage of how much of the article is copied from the original text. Unfortunately, with a recap, you need to include certain pieces of information, otherwise it's not a recap. Perhaps the best way to try to avoid plagiarism with a recap is by using Copyscape's free checker tool. I'll leave a link in the description down below. But what it'll do is compare what you wrote against the original. And what I usually strive for recaps is to get below 10% on either one, because Copyscape will tell you how much of a percentage each piece is copied from the other. But if you can keep it below 10%, that's usually okay in most people's opinion. Personally, I strive for less than 5%, depending on the article. But yeah, with recaps, it's a pain in the ass because it is a rewrite, essentially, of specific information that you cannot leave out. So a lot of times people just say, oh, yep, the plagiarism checker checked it, and it's too close, so I want to rewrite. Unfortunately, without knowing the client directly, you can't really tell if they're looking at it too, or if it's just the program that's in TextBroker. But yeah, try the Copyscape tool and see if you can knock down the percentage and make it more unique as much as you can. Otherwise, I don't know. It's one of the biggest reasons why I don't do recaps. Some clients are just incredibly anal and there's no way you can get around certain things. So good luck to you and hope that helped. The next comment comes from Shiamus. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Is it available to non-Americans? And this is in response to a TextBroker video. The TextBroker US is based in Nevada and is available to all 50 states. Now TextBroker does have a UK branch that, if I remember right, they focus more on the European Union. So depending on what country you live in, you can still probably write for TextBroker. I would contact them directly or see if they have an availability on certain countries. But I would check the TextBroker UK if you're over there on the other side of the pond. The next comment comes from Layla. I definitely need and want to learn WordPress. When it comes to building websites, I'm a huge fanatic of WordPress. It can do just about anything. At the time of me creating this video, there was more than 55,000 plugins in the WordPress repository. And that's not including all the third-party plugins you can download from other websites. If there's a purpose behind it, there's almost a guarantee that there's a plugin to go with it. Not to mention the different themes that you can download to change the look of your website. And if you don't like a certain look of the site, you can go into the WordPress customizer and then change those themes. Then you have tools like Micro Themer that'll let you fine-tune any theme that you have installed, even the premium ones. So there's just so much flexibility with WordPress that you can make it anything you want. And out of all of the different content management systems I've used in the past, WordPress is by far the easiest to do. But stay tuned, Leela. I'll be doing more tutorials in the near future. The next comment comes from Magdalena Helen. Thanks for this vid on some of the best free WordPress plugins. I'm definitely going to try and sort out my site sometime for SEO and all that. So this has been a really handy vid. I know what I'd like to look into further. I'm sorry, I definitely need new glasses. I'm trying to read the small font on my screens. So it's kind of a pain in the ass. But this is in response to a video I did recently about the essential plugins that I use for just about every WordPress website that I work on that are free to use. Now most of them do have pro versions and they expand what you can do with it, but from a free perspective they do an awesome job. For example, I love Yoast SEO and I will push that as much as humanly possible. And although I would love to have the pro version, the free version is pretty much all you need for a beginner. But yeah, setting up your website, even for a YouTuber, setting up your blog is a good thing. But I've noticed on my YouTube channel and on the blog that they're sending traffic back and forth to each other, so it's almost like doubling my exposure. And I'll be doing a lot more WordPress tutorials in the future regarding specific tools and functions, and I've got a whole thing planned out. In fact, I'm thinking about starting a whole new website specifically for a web series of taking you through the beginning and end of creating a blog. Then we'll go through and put all these expert tips in and see if any of them actually pan out or if they're just a boatload of shit. The next comment comes from Geraldine Pearson. Thank you, this video is very helpful. This comment's in response to the video about reaching 4 stars in TextBroker the right way. But once you get to 4 stars, don't forget that it's easy to lose it. The first time I had 4 stars, I only had it for 3 days. Then it took me a couple of months to get back to level 4, and then I was fine ever since. But it's that initial 3 days that kind of screwed me. Got overly excited, overconfident, and then the next 5 articles I wrote just tanked. So I had to spend the next 6 months proving I could write at 4 stars. But this is one of the biggest reasons why I push not buying a 4-star account from a third party. That's because if you're not writing at a 4-star level, you will get knocked down to a 3. And it'll be a waste of money if you bought it. I'll do what I can to help you get to 4 stars, but again, it's up to you putting the words together. I can only show you the best formats to use and how to really engage your client, but it's still up to you to write. But good luck to you, Geraldine, and I hope you hit level 4. Now this next comment comes directly from WriterSanctuary's contact form, and if you want to reach me that way, I'll leave a link in the description down below. This is from Jess. How is it working with TextBroker and filling out a W-9? Is it complicated when tax season comes around? Do you do deductions? I'm in Texas and I haven't worked as a self-employed position before, so that sort of makes me unsure as I'm not familiar with the W-9 form. And do you have to pay taxes quarterly or yearly? I would want to do everything correctly. If you could help with some of the information, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. So when it comes to taxes and TextBroker in the United States, you fill out your W-9. And then at the end of the year, the TextBroker will send you a 1099 miscellaneous. Usually you'll get this at about the last week of January. One year I got it in the first week, so it really depends on how backed up they are. But with the 1099 miscellaneous, you add that to your 1040 form, just like you would any other income that you have. In fact, there's a special section on a 1040 for the 1099 miscellaneous information. And I think it's actually any 1099 information available. But that depends on what the forms look like next year. It seems like the last couple of years, the 1040s just keep changing, so. But anyway, when it comes to things like deductions. Now, deductions you can do as long as you're able to prove that they're part of your freelancing career. The first year I was writing, I claimed half my computer upgrades because, well, obviously I needed my computer to work online. So you just keep the receipts and then you claim those as deductions at the end of the year. Same with if you were an Uber driver. If you were an Uber driver and you blew a tire and you had to get that replaced, you can deduct the expenses of your tire because, well, you need to drive. So think of it this way. Anything that you buy that is used to directly impact the way you make money is deductible. Because without some of these expenses, you can't work. Probably the best way to go about it, though, is to make sure that I'm not talking out my ass and always seek professional help with them when it comes to taxes. As for paying them yearly or quarterly, now freelancers can pay taxes every year just like everybody else. It's just one time a year. You just got to remember to save for that because most of the time as a freelancer, you're not paying out Social Security tax and all that other stuff. So you have to set aside a savings account for the end of the year. Otherwise, you're going to screw yourself. Good rule of thumb is to take 10% of anything you bring in from your career as a freelancer and stick it immediately into some kind of savings account where it can generate interest. Then at the end of the year when you're paying taxes, you can just pull that directly out of your savings account and send the check to the IRS. Any dividends you make could be considered a refund and spent any way you want. Or you can just leave it in there and just keep saving for the next year. But just make sure you don't screw yourself, because if you make like $50,000 a year as a freelancer and you haven't been setting anything aside, come April 15th, you're going to be paying out your ass for the next couple of weeks to catch up. So always set aside a savings account. But as a new freelancer with a W-9, you're getting your 1099, you just do it once a year on a 1040, you're good to go. The next comment comes from my friend Chris Desatov. Hey Michael, you're already sounding better and better with each new video. Don't worry, you'll be ready for WordCamp. And I haven't been creating videos lately, so I haven't really been putting much practice in, and I can still tell that I've got a little bit of a speech impediment going on. But thank you for pointing it out. It is a lot easier to talk since I've got them in the first day. I'm not gagging everywhere. I do have a problem with my mouth getting super dry though. I just hope that I'm able to speak clearly enough that the person I'm interviewing doesn't have to ask me what. But I guess we'll see, because this time tomorrow, I'll be in Kansas City. So that does it for the comments for this week. So what WordCamp is like a convention for WordPress users. But it's not just the people that build and develop WordPress. Whether you're a freelancer getting out on the world for the first time or you're an advanced developer, the speakers at WordCamp are full of different types of information. I've seen speakers talk about anything from branding your business online to integrating WordPress with new APIs. And usually for WordCamps you have everything from beginner to advanced. So you're not really wasting any money if you don't really know what you're doing if you go to one of the WordCamps. There's something for everyone. So the problem is that I'll be spending most of my time talking with people at the booth that I'm representing for my client. And this is also on top of doing the interviews. So I don't really know how many sessions I want to be able to sit in on. I mean, I need to get a little bit of information about some of the sessions, so I'll get to see some of them, but I'm hoping it'll be the ones that I want to see. At any rate, I'll be doing a live stream on Monday and going over my experiences at the WordCamp, so that's going to be kind of exciting, and that's going to be at about 6 p.m. my time, which is Mountain Denver. I do have the event scheduled on the channel, so all you got to do is just go to WriterSanctuary's YouTube channel and hit the set reminder button. But I promise, this time I am doing a live stream. I'm getting all excited about it, and it'll be fun. I'm going to get hyped up on coffee and talk about WordCamp. And any other information if you want to ask me freelance writing questions, text broker questions, anything off the top of your head. So I think that's going to do it for me today. I've already wasted like 30 minutes of my day because I hit stream instead of record, so there's that. I still have to take time out to figure out how to use this wireless microphone and make sure that it's able to hear me and whoever I'm interviewing. A little bit different, so I don't know, I'm crossing my fingers. If you found the video informative, hit the like button. If you want to learn more about text broker, WordPress, freelance writing, or any of the other topics that I cover, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. And don't forget to go to the channel and hit the set reminder button for the live stream, because I'll be doing that. That's going to do it for me today. I'll see you next Monday.